you out on time for the next one. My name is Mia McGuigan. I'm the head of reference services with the University Libraries. And the goal of this session is to learn about some of the services and resources on campus that can help you succeed in your courses. So the goal of my presentation is to build on the Introduction to the Libraries video that was made available to you and to answer any questions that you have about the library. Today we're going to talk about things that you'll need to know on your first day here on campus, during your first week, and by the end of your first semester. So on your first day of classes, it will be helpful to know about the different libraries that you'll find on campus. The Information Commons, which we commonly call the IC, is the big glass building by the lake. That building has 3 floors in it. All of those floors have desktop computers. You can check out laptops, and there's wireless available throughout that building. There are group study rooms throughout the building that you can reserve ahead of time. And the 3rd floor is a quiet study floor. So if you're looking for a quiet space without any sound, you're going to want to go to the 3rd floor of the Information Commons. Cudahy Library is where most of the books on this campus are located. Cudahy Library has 4 floors, and there are desktop computers just on the 1st floor. You'll find that there are quiet study spaces kind of scattered throughout Cudahy Library, as well as some not so quiet spaces. So you'll find a mix of both. An important thing to remember is that to access Cudahy Library, you need to go into the Information Commons, and then you're going to turn left and walk down the long glass hallway. So you can always get to Cudahy through the Information Commons. Now, the Cudahy Library / Information Commons complex is open 24 hours, 5 days a week. So you'll be able to access the library, or access the Information Commons most of the time that you need it. It's closed Friday night and Saturday night. The library part, the Cudahy Library part, does close at 2 a.m., but the other parts of the building are open 24 hours. Another library that we have here is Lewis Library, and that's located downtown at the Water Tower campus. It's in the Corboy Law Center building. So to get to Lewis Library, you want to go up to the 6th floor, and then you can use the library located on the 6th through the 9th floors. And they have computers on the 6th floor, and they have quiet study space on the 9th floor there as well. So if you're ever trying to remind yourself, when is the library open and how can I get to it, you can always go to the library's website, which you can find here from the main Loyola website. And then there's a link for the library hours. It'll always tell you when the different libraries are open. So just remember that this is here when you're looking for that kind of information. You'll also want to know about options for printing on your first day. That's a pretty common question that first day of classes. So you'll find printers on every floor of the IC and on most floors of Cudahy and Lewis Library. Every printer has a card reader attached to it, so you'll just swipe your Loyola ID and then use that to print out your print job. The printers are all set to double-sided printing as the default, and it's 10 cents a page. It's probably the #1 question on the first day. You do receive $3.50 of print credit from the university, but you'll get that towards the end of your first week of classes. That's sort of a free printing that you'll get from the university that will last you maybe about a week, depending on how much you use the printers. That can only be used for the printers, though. It's not used for the photocopiers. Just keep that one in mind. If you need to print before that $3.50 shows up, then you'll want to add money to your account, and you can do that online through the online card office on the Loyola website, or you can use the value port stations that are located throughout campus to add cash to your card. If you need information about printing and you're trying to remember some of these details, check out the services section of the library's website, and you'll find a link here that tells you all of these details and more for printing and copying. You can always find those kinds of details on the library's website. It's also helpful to know about course reserves, which are readings that your instructor will assign to you to do outside of class. You can get to your course reserves by following the course reserves link here on the library's website, and that's going to take you into the catalog where you can search for your course reserves. So you can search by the instructor's name, by the department, or by the course. And then from here, just click on whatever course it is you're looking for, and then make sure that you notice the location of the item you're looking for. So this is going to be a Cudahy Library, and it's going to be at this call number. So you want to write down that call number, take it with you to Cudahy Library, and visit the circulation desk to check out this item. So if you look it up and it says Lewis Reserve, you'll take it to Lewis Library, go to their circulation desk, and check out that reserve item. All right, so during your first week, there's some other things that you're going to want to know about. One of those is logging into the proxy server. The proxy server is what you use to log into our library resources and access them from off campus. Many of our library resources are purchased in such a way so that only current students, faculty, and staff can use them when they're off campus. So you need to log in to demonstrate that you're a current student and you have access to those resources. If you're on our website, you can go to the off-campus access section and then click here to log in to the flagship proxy server. That's going to take you to this page where you will log in with your Loyola username and ID, the same thing you use for email or Sakai or anything else that you log into. And once you've logged into this, that'll give you seamless access to all of our online resources. If you forget to log into this at the beginning of your research session, the first time you try to go to an online resource, it'll just kick you to this page. You'll log in, and then you'll have that access available to you. If you ever have trouble logging into the proxy server, please contact the library so we can make sure to help you with that. For those of you who are living off campus, you may be using this option a lot to make sure you have the same access you would have on campus. It's also helpful to know about how to contact the library. The best way to do that is to find this Ask a Librarian page. And here you'll see the hours and the contact information for both of the libraries, so you'll always know when you can call us or drop in to get help. And there's also options here for online chat, so you can chat with us online to ask us your research questions. You can send us an email, you can send us a text message if you have got short questions, or you can request an appointment if you want to sit down face-to-face and work with the librarian. So remember that there's a lot of different options for getting help from the libraries. But as you progress through your semester, there's some other things you're going to want to think about. You want to make sure that you're becoming familiar with all of the library resources and services that are available to help you with your research and with your coursework. So a couple of things I want to point out on our website is the library research guides. These guides are a really great way to get to know the resources for the library in a particular subject area. So if we look at the menu here, there's going to be a guide for every major and most minors. And if we look at one of these guides, they all have the same basic structure, and they're going to give us information about print and online resources that you can use for research in that subject area. If you're not really sure where to start, every guide is going to have an area for most used resources. So these are the ones that are most frequently used for research in this area. These are often a great starting point. As you're becoming more familiar with your subject area and you're doing more research, it's also a great idea to get to know the subject specialist librarian for that area. The subject specialist is the librarian who focuses on research in that area and provides high-level support to the faculty and the students who are working on that subject. So you'll always see the subject specialist here on the side of the research guide, along with that librarian's contact information. So you should always feel free to call or email that librarian and say, I just need some help, can you send me an email, or can we set up an appointment, and use those people as a resource. It can be a great idea to introduce yourself to your subject specialist librarian when you first declare your major. So if you're looking to find out who that subject specialist librarian is today, please come down and see me at the end, and I can give you that contact information. So we're going to hold questions until the end of this session, and right now I want to turn it over to Sarah Provis from the Tutoring Center, who's going to talk about the resources they have available there.
Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Sarah Provis. I'm the director of the Center for Tutoring and Academic Excellence. We are located in Sullivan Center on the second floor, down the road from first and second year advising. I'm just going to try to get you guys involved and ask a few questions. Hopefully some of you know the answers to these questions if you stop by my booth at the resource fair. So question number one, the CTAE offers tutoring for all undergraduate students using which model? First person that raises their hand gets a prize. Small group. That's part of the answer. We need the full answer. Yes.
All the above. All of those.
It's true. You can see.
You can see the answers.
Yeah, I know. It's pick. You're supposed to see the answers. You're able to pick which two out of three. You can't really see. Can you guys see it?
No.
Small group 1-on-1 study hall.
two forms of tutoring. We offer small group and drop-in study hall. So small group is when we match you with other students from that same class and same professor to a trained peer tutor. You meet once a week for an hour. So again, you're all on the same page. It's students just like you taking that professor, going over course material that you learned in class that week. Drop-in study hall is very different. There's no appointment needed. We offer study halls every semester. The schedule is updated at the beginning of every semester. And does anyone know when our study halls begin? Raise your hand if you know when our study halls begin.
First week of class?
That's right. Our study halls begin the first week of class, which means right away you're able to seek assistance. Because there's a lot of variables that go into forming tutoring groups, it can take up to 2 weeks to get matched to a group. So a lot of students, when they're waiting to get into that group, they're taking advantage of our drop-in study halls. Okay, here's another question. Students must request small group tutoring by visiting our website. We do the legwork to match you to a tutoring group. What are the 3 things that we look for when matching groups?
Availability, course, and professor.
That's right.
Whoa!
Hey, she visited my booth.
I did.
So we're looking for matching availability, same course, and same professor. If for some reason you're not getting matched to a group, it might mean that you're requesting tutoring with limited availability, or no one else from that course or professor is requesting tutoring. So if that's the case, then you might want to wrangle up a couple students from your class. All you need is yourself and 2 other students, and come over to the tutoring center and let us know that you 3 are available to meet on Monday at noon, and we'll be able to match you to a group right away. Sometimes you just have to kind of go that extra mile to get into a group. The CTAE offers one-on-one tutoring to which student group?
Students registered.
That's right. So students who are registered with the Office of Services for Students with Disabilities and have documentation stating that they require one-on-one assistance are the only students on campus that are able to seek out one-on-one tutoring. There definitely are situations where a student will email me and say, I need one-on-one tutoring, I'm in a group, but I need something extra. And if that's the case, then I can serve as a referral agent and give you information on the peer tutors that we have, such as their name and contact information, and then you and that tutor can connect and talk about setting up a private one-on-one tutoring scenario, but that would be at a price, and that would exclude me from that moment on. So I would just be serving as that first contact person. Here are some statistics from the academic school year 2012-2013. We saw about 4,500 visits to our small group and about 2,700 to our study halls. Our client breakdown, most of the students that are seeking our services are freshmen and sophomores. We did have 184 transfer students requesting small group tutoring last year, which is a large portion. So this just goes to show that a lot of students are in need of assistance. A lot of the clients that come through our doors are not necessarily struggling. They're getting B's and they want A's. Some are getting A minuses and want A pluses. I had a tutor, Ali, he was one of our peer tutors, and he got straight A's throughout school and was struggling getting into his top choice med schools because they wanted straight A pluses and he had a few A minuses. And Ali never used the CTAE because he didn't think he needed to. He was a straight A student. But so just think in terms like that. If you're trying to go from an A minus to an A plus, the CTAE is definitely a place that you might want to stop by. In addition to tutoring services, we provide support through academic skills workshops. We host these workshops a couple times per month on things like test prep, reading strategies, time management, organizational skills, test anxiety around finals. The schedule will be posted on our website at the beginning of each semester. That's it. So I'll be here for questions at the end. And I'd like to introduce Amy Kessel from the Writing Center.
Okay. Hello. There is one other place on campus where you can get one-on-one tutoring. Do you know where that is? The Writing Center, right, and that's the way that we're different. We're a little bit different from the Tutoring Center, the Center for Academic Excellence, in that we provide one-on-one trained tutors for working on all your writing projects, your academic writing projects. You get a paper assignment, you have a research project that you're working on, you have a report that you have to write for your science class, and also for professional writing, resumes, cover letters, job applications, personal statements, all these things we're ready to help you with. Our tutors are all volunteers. They're all trained to be writing tutors, and so they're interested in writing, they're interested in working with writers. We're located on 2 campuses. Here on the Lakeshore campus, we're in the Information Commons on the 2nd floor, up by the reference librarians and the Digital Media Lab. And we're at the Water Tower campus in the Corboy Law Center, also attached to the Lewis Library. We're on the 8th floor. We're the same place as the Career Development Center in the 8th floor suite there. Whoops. If I can maneuver this, I can show you our website, or maybe I can't. Sorry. Is it? What's it doing?
You have to, do you want me to go to the?
I can't walk and chew gum, so it's hard for me to do this, do the microphone. But
You want me to hold it?
if you, no, that's okay, honey. Thank you. But if you go to the main website here for Loyola University, and go over here to the search engine and say, just type in Writing Center. That's probably the fastest way to get there. We have a link, but with a last link. So, yes, I meant Writing Center. Yes. Okay, so here's our webpage, and there's all kinds of information about us and what we do. This is my contact information. If you have any concerns about the Writing Center, if you would like to talk about becoming a tutor, you can contact me at this email address. And this is our information about when we're open and where we're located. Our schedule will change in the fall. We start tutoring right away the 2nd week, and I think it's important for you to think about when you get that first writing assignment. Now, you've all been college students, right? You're all transfer students, so you know that writing can be really difficult, yeah? And you know that when you get that first assignment, sometimes you look at it and you say to yourself, I don't even know what this instructor wants. I'm not even sure. You can bring the assignment at that stage and talk to a writing tutor. Or maybe you're writing and writing and writing and you get stuck. You say, I have really nothing more to say, but I have to have 5 pages and I only have 3. So you can go to the Writing Center at that point. You can be finished with your paper and take it to the Writing Center and talk to a writing tutor about whether or not your paragraphs are flowing well, your introduction and your conclusion make sense, your citations are correct. Here, writing is very important and rather complex and demanding. And once you get out into the work world, what we hear from businesses, what we hear from professional schools, what we hear from medical schools, law schools, is what they want are students who are good writers and are good thinkers. And at the Writing Center, we think of those 2 things as being intertwined. If you're a good writer, you're going to be a good thinker. If you're a good thinker, you're going to be a good writer. Sometimes my students will say to me, I know what I want to say, but I just can't get it on paper, right? And what we would say to you is, well, then you don't really know what you want to say yet, right? You don't really know what you want to say until you've articulated it on the page. So if you go to our website and you can look at this information, one of the most important things you need to know is how to schedule an appointment. Now, we will take walk-ins, and most of the semester it's okay if you just walk into one of our locations, and if there's a tutor available, that person will be able to meet with you. But midterm
your name, your student ID, and then some other things that might seem irrelevant, but that are relevant to us. And then you can make up your own secret password. And this password doesn't have to change. You can change it anytime you want to, but you won't be asked to change it regularly. So I can say, I'm putting my email address and my secret password. Hopefully I've done that all correctly. Okay, and what I see here is the schedule then for the Writing Center. Now, when you look at this in the fall, there are going to be many, many more tutors and many more times. This is the summer schedule, so it's a little bit lighter. We're usually open between 10 and 12 hours a day on weekdays and then also on weekends. Now, these blue spaces are people have scheduled appointments. But let's say that I want to schedule an appointment with Jason, who's my assistant director, and I want to schedule it for 4 o'clock today. I can go from 4 to 4:30, I can go from 4 to 5. I can meet face-to-face or I can meet online, which is, I can post my document and chat with Jason back and forth. I can, let's see, social work, instructor is me, or, I put the name of my instructor in there, and then just choose from these things what I want to work on. More important is what I want to work on in relation to this document. Sometimes students just write that, grammar, right? They don't really mean that, but that's okay. And then I save the appointment, and it looks like this. For me, it looks like this golden thing. For Jason, it looks like a blue thing. If it were an online appointment, it would look like a red thing. And then you get an email reminding you of the appointment. Jason gets an email reminding you of the appointment. And you're all set up. Now, let's say that I'm running late. I know that I'm not going to be able to make this appointment. I can just do this. And then the appointment is canceled up to a minute before the time. You can do that. And then schedule another appointment for the next day, something like that. What it won't let you do is schedule like 5 appointments with 3 different tutors on the same day, because that's, you're taking up somebody else's space. But here you see some online appointments, and this is what the screen looks like. You can start chatting here. The tutor will start chatting. You can paste your document in here. So all this stuff is available to you to help you be a better writer, not just to fix your mistakes, right? You're not going to bring a paper in and just have somebody go over the errors and fix them. You'll sit down one-on-one with the tutor and talk about, okay, why is this not a correct use of a comma? Why is this not correct formatting for APA? Why doesn't this seem to make sense to me as a reader when I read your paper? Let's see if we can make this clearer. Let's see if we can make your introduction different from your conclusion, or make your introduction promise more about what you're going to talk about in this paper. And that will make you a better writer, and that's really the goal of the Writing Center, not just to be a fix-it-shop to correct your mistakes. And we say we're a free service, but you know what? How much is your tuition? Right? Okay, this is a service that you've already paid for, a service that can improve your writing and improve your grades. So take advantage of it early and often. I would encourage you to do that.